Hi, welcome to yoga. We're going to do a little bit of core balance work today. Everything we're doing to work and build that core is always going to help with our balance. This is our frame, our tree, if you will. There's just everything that kind of holds everything together. We start with that core and we build on it. So, starting standing position, feet about shoulder width, we're just going to inhale, raise the arms. Stay right here. Find your positioning. Small movement. We're going to connect with the toes and the balls of the feet and the heels. I'm going to focus on that right now, lifting up with the arches. I'm going to go ahead and tighten those quads and then lift up through the upper body. So picturing my waist and my hips just being anchored in and then trying to lift up out with the upper body. So everything else is rooted. And I just start to lift and take the weight out of that upper body. Okay. I'm going to take a big deep inhale here. I go into that side here. Okay, we just go straight over to the side here for you're comfortable. And breathe and make sure we're not staying forward, we're not leaning back. We're just coming straight over to the side here. And those side bends are really going to work that core and really help shape like that hourglass. These really help. Simple movement. Good. Inhale, exhale. Back to center. Big deep inhale here. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale, take it over to the other side. Hold and breathe. Big deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Coming back to center, taking it right back over to the other side. Sometimes when I'm on my side over here, I like to just kind of grab the wrist and a nice little extra stretch, not forcing, not tugging, just a gentle pull to just stretch. Nice little extra stretch. Keep the integrity of that side bend. Right back to center, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And we're rooted and we lengthen. And then we come right back over to the other side. Grab this wrist and just give it a slight little pull. Just a little extra stretch and pull here. Good. Coming right back to center. Open those legs up. Just get a nice little stretch in here. So opening up those legs a little bit wider than shoulder width. We're going to soften the knees. Soften the knees. Good. And then we just hinge at those hips. Just coming into a little wide leg forward fold. Just for a little warm-up stretch here. Go ahead and open up those feet a little bit more if you need to. Bring those hands down to the mat. So if you need to get more of a bend in those knees to get the hands down, that's what I want. So hands down to the mat, bend. And we're going to place those hands on the mat and start to lean forward a little bit. So bring your hands out a little bit if you need to. Soften the knees if that's what you need to do to come down to the mat. But we're going to lean forward and start to straighten those legs if we can. Take that weight out of the heels. And my weight on the balls of my feet, really working into those quads right now. So my weight is not in my hands. The weight is not in my heels. It's on the balls of my feet. I'm just kind of stretching through those hamstrings, and those quads. So I'm not leaning on my hands. I'm on the balls of my feet right now. Almost like I'm on my tippy toes. So I'm working on that balance. Right here. The heels are lifted slightly off the mat. Slight lift, not focusing on leaning the weight in my hands. The weight is on the balls of my feet right now. So you're going to feel that work in your legs. You're going to feel that work in the hamstrings. Almost on my tippy toes here. My heels I'm not up here, but my heels are just grazing the mat. You're not on it. Good. Keep that balance in the in the balls of the feet, not in the hands. Good. Go ahead and lower those heels. I'm just going to take it over to one side here. It's a nice little stretch here. Gentle movement. Hold and breathe. Focus on the inhale, exhale. Big deep inhale through the nose. Good. Exhale through the mouth. Big deep inhale through the nose. Good. Exhale. Swing it on over to the other side.
Just a little stretch. Soft knees. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Bring it right back to center. And again, I'm going to come in to where I'm putting the weight, shifting the weight into the balls of the feet. I'm going to take one hand, place it right in the center, about the center of my feet, a little bit forward, making sure the palm of my hand is connected to the floor, to the mat. And I'm just going to do that nice little gentle twist, raising the opposite arm and taking my gaze up to that opposite hand up in the air. So I'm just working on twisting the spine here, keeping a balance, shifting that weight to center. So I want my weight about centered right now. So again, I'm not leaning on that hand. I'm not placing the weight on that hand. My hand is almost floating. The weight is distributed into the balls of the feet. You're going to feel this one in the hamstrings also. Make sure you're breathing. Big deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Big deep inhale. If you need to soften those knees, go ahead and soften those knees. But I want this twist here, focusing on the spine and the twist. Go ahead and lower that palm, stack it. So I'm just going to replace my hand. Left hand goes where the right hand was. Slide, twist, 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 twist. Take your gaze up to that opposite hand up in the air. Gentle twist with the neck and the spine. Always just gentle, not forcing. Especially with the neck. I always keep my movements very subtle if I do anything at all with the neck, because it's just so easy to make it want to do something it just doesn't want to do. Keep that integrity in the spine and the neck, keeping them in line with each other. Lower that hand. Come back into that wide leg fold. Just a nice little breathe here. Big deep inhale. Through the nose for 4. Exhale through the mouth. And it should be a little bit deeper into that fold. You remember, we're placing that weight in the balls of our feet, not in our hands, not in our heels. Really working those hamstrings. Inhale, exhale, good. And we're just going to slowly start to bring those feet together. Good, rolling up. So on that inhale, we're going to roll up, just a gentle roll up to standing. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Reaching up. Good, and relax. So just let those hands float down. Good, 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 good. We're going to take it over to the back of the mat. We're going to go into that fold one more time just to get our hands down to the mat. So feet are about shoulder width. Big deep inhale. Exhale, hinge at those hips. Hinge, 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 hinge. Good, soft knees. Bring those hands down to the mat. And we're going to crawl the hands out. Crawl out into our plank position. So stretching those feet out. Crawling the hands out, making sure the wrists are directly underneath the shoulders. Good, feet are about shoulder width apart. We're just going to hold here in our plank. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through the spine. Lengthen through the neck. Hold that belly in. Good, just holding in our plank here. Really getting deep into that core. We're going to take a big, deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, we're going to push the hips back and come into down dog. Some gentle movement, just pushing the hips back. Take my palms and turn my hands out just a little bit. Roll those shoulders away from the ears. And remember to lengthen through the neck. So the neck is just an extension of the spine. I'm lengthening through the spine, lengthening through my neck, taking the pressure out of my neck. Just hold down, breathe. Big, deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, I want you to roll those hips forward, and we're going to come down into what's it looks like a table position, but my shins are going to float over the mat. So I'm going to bring my feet in just a little bit, and I'm going to let my shins just float over the mat. So I'm floating table. I'm in a table position, but my knees aren't touching, my shins aren't touching. I'm holding them up, and I want them to be parallel with the mat here. So I don't want to be up here. I don't want to be too low. I want them to be parallel. So it's going to work those arms, hips, everything. Quads. Hold, 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 and breathe. Big, deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Stay floating. Really working those legs today. One more big deep inhale here. And exhale, push right back up into that down dog. Good. Inhale through the nose for 4. Exhale through the mouth. And we start to gently push those heels a little bit more towards our mat. Really getting that stretch in. Big deep inhale through the nose. Good. Exhale, go ahead and let those hips come forward. Lowering those knees down to the mat. We're not touching the mat. My knees are floating. Floating table. So I'm floating up over the mat here. Shins and knees are about 1 inch off the mat. Just floating, holding the integrity of my spine, holding my belly in, lengthening through the neck. Hold and breathe. Big deep inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Good. One more big deep inhale. Exhale, push back up into that down dog, really working in those shoulders. Good, roll those shoulders away, make sure we're taking the tension out. Sometimes I like to point my hands out just a little bit, just to remind myself to bring those shoulders away from my ears. And lengthening, and again trying to get those heels to go a little bit more towards the mat. Stay here and breathe. Good, one more big deep inhale. Good, and exhale through the mouth. What I'm going to do is just take those elbows and lower them, coming into dolphin pose. So staying in that same alignment as my down dog. Shoulders square with the mat. I'm just lowering those elbows and coming into dolphin. So maybe I crawl my feet up just a little bit. But once again here, I'm going to roll those shoulders away from the ears. And I'm going to feel that in the back and lengthening my neck. So I'm going to pay attention to how your neck feels in this position. We don't ever want it clenched or tightened. I'm going to roll those shoulders open and away and lengthen through that neck. So acting like there's a weight in the head and it's just kind of hanging as this neck lengthens. Good. Hold here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Another big deep inhale. Good. Exhale. We're going to go ahead and lower those knees. Let them come down to the mat. Bring those feet together. Right. And then open the knees up just a little bit. And we're going to push those hips back into a nice resting pose, child's pose. Good. Lengthen those hands, so crawl those fingers out. Once again, doing a little neck check. Make sure we're not keeping tension in our neck. We're releasing that tension. Go ahead and lower that forehead down to the mat. Good. Big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more big deep inhale through the nose. Good, and exhale through the mouth. And one more big deep inhale. Good, exhale through the mouth. And the exhale, we're just going to roll those hips forward, coming back onto those elbows. Staying on my knees here. I'm going to tuck my toes under. Going to take a big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, I'm going to push right back up into that dolphin. Good, holding here. I'm going to take myself into some dolphin push-ups. So I'm going to stay here with my neck long. And I'm going to just shift the hips a little bit forward and dip the head towards the mat. Good. And then lift back up those hips like I'm lifting with my hips to pull the upper body up. Good. Shifting forward. Dipping the head. Lifting back up with the hips. Good. A few more. Don't forget to breathe. Shifting forward. Nice little dip in the head. And then pull the body back up with those hips. Good. Lift, lift, lift. One more here. Shifting forward. Nice little dip in the head. And lifting back up with those hips. Good. Stay here and breathe. Big deep inhale. Exhale for 4. One more big deep inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and lower those knees down to the mat. bring the feet together, open up the knees, shift the weight back, come into that child's pose, resting pose. Forehead comes down to the mat, crawl the fingers out. Good, open up the shoulders. And let's just stay here and breathe for a minute. Big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Another big deep inhale through the nose. Good. Exhale, go ahead and raise those hips and shift. I'm staying here on my elbows. Actually, let's bring it up onto the hands here in like tabletop position. Take that left arm, reach it right out to the side. Big deep inhale. Exhale, cross it underneath the body. Stretch out those shoulders a little bit. Reaching that opposite hand overhead, threading the needle, so twisting with my spine. Lengthening and twisting again with that spine. Remember, the neck is in alignment, so if my spine is twisted and I'm facing to the right, my head is turned to the right, my spine and my neck are all in one straight line. Good. Reach and breathe. Inhale, exhale through the mouth. One more big deep inhale. Exhale, coming back to center, coming up onto all fours, taking that hand, reaching straight out to the side. Big deep inhale. And exhale, cross it over the body. Good. Reach. Palm is facing up. Opposite hand crawls up overhead. Stretch and reach. Good. Neck and spine are aligned. Hold and breathe. Big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good. One more big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Stretch and breathe. One more big deep inhale. And then exhale, rolling back up to all fours. Good. Crawling those hands out just a little bit. And coming into a pipita. So I crawl my hand out. Take a big deep inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to go ahead and arch in the back, lowering my chest towards the mat. Crawling those hands out. Good. Just coming down as low as I'm comfortable here. Getting that nice work in the shoulders. Stay here and breathe. This will change the definition of your arms and your shoulders doing this pose a few times a week. As you get deeper into it, especially, you're going to notice a difference in the toning in your arms. This is one of those poses that really works for that. So it might be a little bit difficult with the arch at first. This is a more difficult pose, but the more you work on it, the more you're going to get through that arch and the more you're really going to notice the difference in that shoulder area. And it's a beautiful heart opener as well. So here and breathe. More. Good. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and roll those hips forward. We're going to come up to seated. So just gently coming up to seated. Rolling over onto our backs. And coming down onto the mat. Big deep inhale through the nose. Go ahead, gently bring those knees up. And go to let my knees fall to one side, so left or right, whichever you're comfortable. Keeping the shoulders and the hips square, attached to the mat. Just going to lift up a little bit through the knees, put them together, and just let them fall to one side. So it's like a nice twist in the spine. Reaching the arm off to the other side. Flip that palm over and then take that gaze over to the opposite hand. Through the hips here, a little bit stretching through the hips, and as always through the spine. Big deep inhale, exhale here. Breathe, big deep inhale. Exhale, roll
Staying together, stacked on top of each other. They're going to follow to the opposite side, reaching with that opposite hand, flipping that palm over, taking the gaze over to that palm, and just breathe here. Big deep inhale, exhale. Big deep inhale, exhale here. Deep breaths, good. Coming right back to center. And we're going to end today in Savasana like we always do. So just take those legs out. Gently take the legs out, extending, opening up the hips. Letting the arms fall to the side. Palms are facing up. Tension out of the neck. Good. Big deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, we melt into that mat. One more big deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, melting into the mat. And again, we can stay here in this Savasana pose for as long as we like. Just reflecting, breathing, maybe emptying the mind, focusing on what you want to accomplish for the day, or focusing on just enjoying being present and clearing the mind and taking everything away for a moment or two. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, I like to melt into that mat. Good. Remember, you can stay here for as long as you like. Let's pause that. When you're ready, please come back up to seat and we finish and enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.